I'm from Bali. I'm having my day off, and I was thinking about journaling. I used to journal. Mostly, I started with journaling about traveling. And when I look back at my travel journals, which were batshit crazy adventures, I'm sad that I didn't fortopulate a little bit more. Talking about what exactly I was seeing, hearing, and feeling. But it's nice to read the descriptions anyway and put my mind back into that place. But I find, interestingly enough, that a lot of the things that I wrote about, that I have very little recollection of what I actually really saw and heard and felt. I just know what I did. And that's sort of like indicative how I was a real failure at journaling later. Because I would journal if I was angry or sad or experienced an intense negative emotion. And when I look back at those journals, I really fortoppled and spent a great deal of time experiencing what I was seeing, hearing, and feeling. And I questioned a little bit the reality testing of that. Because when you're angry or sad, everything inflates. And I think in essence, while I was writing, I was intensifying the experience. I was augmenting the emotion. In meditation, they call that sometimes fanning the flame of your emotions, to ruminate on it. And when I think about writing, see, I remember when I was in college or when I was in workshops or trainings later, I would want to write because that would help me memorize at the same time. I even remember sitting at home studying for exams and writing things down would code it in my mind. And I think that that's the danger of journaling, if it's all bad and all negative and has really no other reason that you think you're processing the emotion. And all you do is you study your negative day. You memorize your negative day. You memorize something that is intense. And is there a learning later? So when I read those journals where I'm angry, I'm almost afraid for some people to find them, if something were to happen to me, because it doesn't at all reflect what I think today, or maybe even 2 weeks after I wrote that in the journal. And I think that there are better ways of processing negative emotions than that, But does that make me against journaling? No, not at all. I could be writing about my positive experiences and fortopple that and memorize that. Times where, let's say, I was resourceful or something like that. But you can also think about things like a gratitude journal, to write every day or when you can about things that you're grateful for. Or to sit down at the end of the day and write about what are a few things that I'm grateful for, or what went well today, and why. And that is how you then can make a record of that day to remember for later. But it also kind of sets up the brain to start recoding your day to set up a new filter for yourself, where you start changing the brain in the process. You're using neuroplasticity. Instead of thinking about the negative in your day, is what went well and why. And scientific research backs that up. If you write your own positive life story in some way, it actually turns you into a happier person. So that's my take on journaling.